for each of the 5 years that I've taught here at Peachtree Ridge. And it's always one of my favorite nights of the year. From August to now, we work really hard. Can I get an amen from Team AP Physics? That hard work has meant a lot of difficult sacrifices. So, in case you've got a 30-second attention span, I am proud of you guys tonight. I won't pretend to speak from your end of the fence, parents, but coming from someone who was an honor grad 10 years ago and sat with his exhausted peers at a night like this, I know that you've had to love, encourage, bribe, listen, push, and even shove your students towards their goals. Even if your student doesn't know how to express it yet, trust me, they're thankful. Even if they don't tell you for 10 years, they're thankful for your love and the sacrifices you've had to make in order to help them be successful. And colleagues, I don't need to tell you or beg the attention of those here tonight to affirm what you've done for our students. As a small anecdote of how much we educators give and care, I'd like to publicly confess that my wife noticed a couple gray hairs on my 28-year-old head the other night. When asked if they are the product of 5 years as a student at Georgia Tech or 5 years as a teacher, I said both. To all of the educators here tonight, take pride in these students you've poured into. We've been lifting these individuals, this team, up, and they are now soaring beyond our reach. For me, this is the greatest achievement I have as a teacher. Colleagues, thank you for sharing a passion with me for these students that makes us do crazy things. Because of that passion, this group of students has a fierce momentum. But why do we make these sacrifices? Why do you sacrifice sleep and free time and friends for cloth ribbons and pieces of paper? There's no market value on a certificate of appreciation. Parents, y'all don't even get that much. Is it masochism? Certainly there are pressures from teachers, parents, societal expectations and cultural norms, or just a habit of jumping through the next hoop. But these kinds of motivations are short-lived. They're like trying to run a campfire on nothing but dry leaves. It may work for a little while and on a small scale, but when the demand for light and heat increase, piling on more leaves will just produce a bunch of smoke and eventually smother the flames. Goal-oriented sacrifices need more than dry leaves, than surface-level motivations to keep the fire burning bright. Nobody seeks insignificance. I hope that no one here tonight will proclaim that they aspire to mediocrity. No, this is a generation of world changers. And to be a world changer, you have to sacrifice, to give of yourself. I look out to these faces, and I see people who've inspired me with an infectious passion to, in the words of Gandhi, be the difference you wish to see in the world. Your organic, personal passions and loves, they are the holy grail of self-help books. Look where they brought you. Randall Munroe, the author of XKCD, provides an important insight on this. In one comic, a zombie version of Marie Curie says, "You don't become great by trying to be great. You become great by wanting to do something and then doing it so hard that you become great in the process." You will find that the kinds of honors being handed out tonight are most fulfilling when the awards themselves are not your goals, but they're the byproducts of the journey towards those goals. This is not to belittle their importance. You deserve to be very proud of these awards. But true life-changing greatness happens when you love something so much that you pursue it, you explore it, and you sacrifice for it relentlessly. It is your passions that will fuel a bonfire that lights the way for others. This may seem a bit lofty. Some of you are like, okay, Landers, that sounds great, but seriously, I'm here because I like getting good grades, high school was easy, and I'm a people pleaser. Those reasons, those leaves, will only fuel the fire for so long. What are your passions? What will you doggedly pursue with such a sacrificial love and passion that it will change the world? One of my favorite authors, Tim Keller, says, all real life-changing love is substitutionary sacrifice. You may not be the kid who's so jazzed about science that he wears a lab coat every day at the ridicule of his peers. But everyone has some burning passion, a love they can be motivated by. Find that love. and chased it down. One of my good friends in high school was a genius science nerd. None of us could even understand his science fair projects. We were certain that he was going to invent something really awesome like a teleporter or a warp drive. Well, come senior year, he told us that he wasn't going to apply to any technical schools, that he was going to go study music composition. I remember telling him he could call me from his cardboard box in 10 years when I was an engineer and he was a street musician. 10 years later, he's a renowned modern composer who tours Europe regularly and is just finishing his PhD. He'd always loved making music, and he chased it with a fury that set him apart and left the world in awe. If you aren't willing to give of yourself for something right now, keep looking for your passion. Why did Frodo walk up that burning mountain for 3 hours of my life? He loved the Shire and his simple life so much that he was willing to sacrifice for it. Why did Lily Potter throw herself in front of Voldemort? She loved her son. And when Harry later asked Dumbledore why Voldemort couldn't touch him, Dumbledore says, "Your mother died to save you. Love as powerful as your mother's for you leaves its own mark. Not a scar, not a visible sign, but to have been loved so deeply will give us some kind of protection forever. Where will you leave your mark on the world?" In Gladiator, Maximus Decimus Meridius says, "What we do in life echoes in eternity." What do you want to leave echoing? Will your echoes be loud enough to be heard? Students, you have sacrificed to achieve this moment. Now, it's up to you to seek out the passions that will put real fuel in your fire, passions that will require more challenging sacrifices, passions that will bring about a change to you, and passions that will leave a permanent mark on a changed world. Thank you.
Great job, Dean, and don't worry about the gray hair. It'll either fall out or you'll lose your eyesight to the point you can't see it. My name's Jim Barbie.